Hi guys, it's Keith. I'm going to be introducing you to my Blythe family today. I actually got my first Blythe in 2010, which was in Ashton Drake Galleries. I made all my mistakes on her. She ended up bald. It's a long story. We don't talk about it. Her name's Baldine. She's in storage right now, so I don't have her to show you, but I will start with my very first custom Blythe that I purchased in 2013. She's by Chantilly Lace, and her name is Melanie. Say hi to Melanie. Hi guys! Wow! Wow! That's the voice I give my Blythes, by the way. Haley, if you're out there, shout out. So, I bought her, and originally her name was Patience, which is really interesting because I think Kate sold her, reclaimed her, re-customized her, sold her again, and then somehow that person decided they didn't want her anymore, put her on eBay. I found her on a whim at a really low price, which I'm not going to say out loud, and I bought her, so it was kind of meant to be. I don't often like Blythes with bangs, but the bangs totally work on her. I have no problem with them. And also at the time I was inspired by a photographer named Melanie who photographs murder scenes, which is not what I do, but I was still really inspired by her work. And then also when I turned her around, if you see all of these little hair clips, that's pretty much how I make sure that their hair is fit to be photographed. I hate stray hairs. So if you're ever wondering how I get my doll's hair to look normal in photographs, literally a bunch of 90s hair clips that I find on eBay. So yep, that's Melanie. She's super cute. Haley wants to steal her. I can't take her out around Haley because Haley will snatch her and I will never see her again. So Haley, only if I die will you ever get this doll in your possession. So anyways, I don't know if I'm going to go in chronological order, so I apologize in advance if I skip around, but I'm just going to pick up the next doll. So they're all in a pile over there. So hey ladies. Okay, so next doll, her name is Jody, and a lot of you may actually know this doll because she is more commonly known as Goldie. She is an all golden one. I bought her in the same year. You might be wondering where my money was coming from, so am I. I have no idea. I really bonded with Jody because she photographs so easy in public. I don't know what it is. I always thought maybe customs would photograph more easily than stock dolls ever would in public, because I used to do a lot of public work at the time. We'll go into that in another video. But I photographed in public predominantly. I didn't really do studio work. And I was still in art school, so that was all going on. But by the time I dropped out of art school, I moved back to Southern California, and I sort of used her as my main doll. I was like, oh my goodness, like no wonder this is one of the more famous releases. Every photograph I took of her became like my most popular photograph. This is probably one of the few dolls in my doll family that you recognize because she kind of like, I guess, boosted my following a little bit at the time. Maybe people's first images of mine that they remember probably have Jody in it. So I definitely respect Jody in my mind as like that doll that transitioned me into like the next phase of my photography. And it's honestly, owning one, it's no wonder why people love her. It's no wonder why she's like $900 on eBay or something. I haven't checked recently. But it makes sense. She's one of those dolls that's just timeless and she will never go out of style. She's Goldie. She's Goldie. Oh, also a fun story with her. When I deboxed her, don't tell anyone, I cut her bangs. Ah! I know you're not supposed to cut the bangs or customize like these dolls that are coveted and everyone wants them, blah, blah, blah. But I cut her bangs, I have to admit, and my heart dropped, I gasped. It was one of those moments where like I dropped the scissors and I threw her in her box, didn't look at her for 2 hours, and I was like really depressed. This was the same day that I opened her. But then I was like, you know what? Let me get another look at her. And I took her out and I was like, her bangs, yes, they're too short. Yes, she's gonna have a little quirk about her. But at the same time, that's kind of what makes Jody Jody. Like, it's just kind of one of those dolls in my doll family that kind of defines my style, my aesthetic. She's amazing. And every time I look at her, it's like I feel inspired. So, one of the best stock dolls ever released, in my opinion. And in hindsight, I'm happy I cut her bangs. She's super cute. Bye, guys! Okay, moving on. Okay, so time to delve into the divas. So I have categories in my Blythe family. There are the OGs, which are the few that I just talked about, and they know that they're like the thing, but they're still humble. Now I'm gonna go into the divas, and my first diva I ever owned was Jill. This is Jill. She's dressed in Cindy Sowers, as well as like the rest of my doll family at the moment. Shout out to Cindy Sowers. She is the quintessential diva. She snatches my photo shoots. I literally, when I plan my photo shoots, I have a specific doll in my mind that I want to use. And then on shooting day, it's like, oh, just kidding. Jill wants to be the star of this photo. Sorry, everyone else. And this has happened, I want to say like 10 times at least. So she's a diva. She knows what she wants to be in, and she will be in it, and she will be successful in it because she's actually really beautiful on camera. This is another doll by Chantilly Lace. Kate's work is amazing. This doll is dated in winter of 2013. I get a lot of my dolls during Christmas, so it's just a theme. I can never get away from the Christmas theme, honestly. Like, it's just me, Christmas, 365 days a year. She is the first diva in my doll family because she was actually featured on Flickr Explore, not once, but twice. And if anyone follows me on Flickr, which is like 12 of you, you will know that I don't have a following. Like, nobody sees my photos. So to have her end up on Flickr Explore 2 times, I think, in consecutive years, kind of crazy. So kind of got to her head. She's the boss of my doll family in her mind, but she's not really, which I'll get into later. But yeah, she's a diva, and watch out. And she also loves pink, so we have that in common. Bye, guys! Okay, so this is where I'm going to start jumping around because my memory is really starting to fail me in terms of when I bought which doll, which is kind of scary, but I'm sure a lot of doll collectors can relate. So I have no idea when I bought this doll. This is a Miss Retro Mama, and she's a translucent girl. She desperately needs to get her hair combed. I didn't really have time to do that. This is kind of like a last minute video that I'm doing. And she is beautiful. Her name is Tinkerbell. I call her Tink for short. That's kind of around the time when I started experimenting with my doll names, like started using like Michael Jackson-esque doll names, which I can say that because I'm a fan of MJ. But her name's Tink. So maybe one day I'll get a doll named Pan or another doll named Wendy, we don't know. And she is actually spray matted. But I absolutely love that because matted dolls are so easy to photograph, especially with my style. I know some people like the shiny aesthetic, but I like matte. Everything must be matte. So, and if I remember correctly, she came to me spray matted, and then I also added another coating of spray matte on top of that. So she is like ultra matte. Like if you see her in person, it's kind of like a different experience with Blythe because she is translucent. So you see the light passing through her. You probably can't see through the camera, but you can see the light passing through her, but at the same time, she seems opaque, if that makes any sense. So she kind of like just glows from the inside. Like a vegan! So yeah, her name's Tink. She loves pink, just like Jill. She, if I could categorize her in my doll family, she's probably like the intern. She's like, one day I'm gonna be a star, but I almost never photograph her. Even though she's one of the most popular Blythe releases ever, just like a Goldie. She's kind of phenomenal. She met Junko Wong. I remember at BlytheCon Los Angeles, I told Junko that this was like the best mistake ever because she was saying like, you know, she was having a hard time with the skin tones. She turned out more yellow than anticipated. And I told Junko that I think Miss Retro Mama is perfect the way she is, and if she was any different, I don't think she would have been as iconic as she is today. So shout out to Junko Wong. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward a few years. I kind of had a Blythe doll purchasing blackout from around 2014 to 2016. So this doll I bought at the end of 2016, kind of around the time that I met Dare Bear. And her name is Gigi. She's an S. Oh God, she looks beautiful on camera. She's an S Cola dolls. I apologize if I don't pronounce that correctly, but her custom work is amazing. This is the only doll I own by her, but someday I hope to have more. She's one of those dolls that I should photograph way more often than I do. It's just difficult because I have people like Jill steal all the photo shoots. Oh, hi. I think she deserves more attention. She's absolutely gorgeous. Again, I don't know if my camera is doing any of this justice. I have a ton of lights in front of me right now. But she kind of demands the spotlight when she's in front of the camera. She directs the entire show. And it's also kind of weird because this is a very pale tone scalp that she's on. I actually got this scalp as a birthday present from Haley, which is an amazing birthday present. I still love this scalp. Like, I'm always obsessed with yellow hair, so this scalp may never come off her. I don't know, it looks amazing on her. Even though her scalp is like a pale tone, it doesn't look weird. Or maybe I'm alone in that, but it seems like meant to be somehow. I think the darker complexion allows those fantasy colors to just thrive, especially when she's on film. So she's one of those special girls. I changed her eye chips. I'm one of those people that when I adopt a doll, I change the eye chips, I change the hair. You know, I respect the customizer's vision 110%, but I also love the wiggle room with Blythe Collecting where we can do like little tweaks here and there. She's kind of like a sentimental doll because I did purchase her around the time that I met Dare Bear, which was December of 2016. And she'll always have like a special place in my heart because of that. I think I actually deboxed her a few days after our first date. It was around Christmas time. Again, Christmas, I know. Who's next? Okay. So, I know I just said I'm done talking about Christmas, but lo and behold, this next doll I also bought around Christmas. And her name is Miss Carrie. I'm sure you can imagine where I found the inspiration for that name when you see her. But she is my, like, Mariah Carey-esque doll. She's kind of another diva, but not in the same sense as Runway. She really should get more camera time. I think I last photographed her for my Christmas postcard at the end of last year. Excuse me. I feel like I'm about to burp, but it's not coming out. She just has that, like, festive look to her. Like, when I look at her, I'm just like, oh my god, she's so Miss Carrie. Like, she's a diva. She owns the holidays. She's like, I give my dolls such unattractive voices. I love this dress by Cindy. It's pink, shocker. I actually have a lot of work planned in the future for her, so I'm excited to make some progress on that and show you guys how that turns out. And I'm sure all of you will recognize the next doll that I bring up. So this next doll needs no introduction. She is pretty much known by everyone. It's almost scary. Like, people I don't even know about her. People I've never met before who I've seen at Blythe cons come up to me and ask about her. And I'm like, oh my god, like, this doll has more friends than I do, which is kind of weird, but actually not weird at the same time because I have no friends. Drum roll, please. Runway! Wow! So everyone knows Runway because of many reasons. She's been featured in a lot of my work for Blythe cons. She has come with me to BlytheCon Brooklyn, where she met a lot of people there. She has been the center of a lot of controversy, which I will be discussing in my book, which is coming out next year. So I hope you guys read that. But she is like famous in my doll family. And I'm not saying that my doll family is famous by any stretch of the imagination. But if there was one doll in my family that would be well known, or if I could put a face to my doll family, Runway would be the face. Her hair's really matty right now. I apologize. I'm in between photo shoots right now, so none of these dolls are like photo ready or presentable. This is the last minute video, again with the 90s hair clips in the back, recurring theme. Everyone knows Runway. Everyone seems to relate with Runway somehow. I relate with Runway. She just seems human, and I know that's kind of freaky, especially to non-doll collectors, but they probably will never see this video, so I feel open to saying that. She kind of feels human. When I photograph her, I see those human sensibilities about her. Her blush is amazing, and she's customized by Stable House. Again, I have no idea how I afforded her at the time. I dream of affording another one, but she was a pretty penny. Kind of makes up for the steal that I got Melanie at. So she has definitely made her mark on my doll family. I'm not going into details too much, but she was with me when I was almost assaulted in New York City. She was with me when I was kicked out of a famous theme park. Like, we've been through a lot, me and her. Like, we have our badges to wear, but you know, things happen, for better, for worse. I have no regrets. So I have a few more dolls to share with you. I'm gonna delve into my twin middies by Kate, and I'm super thrilled that Kate agreed to do this commission for me because it wasn't easy. I felt almost guilty asking her to do this, but I asked her to make midi twins, and I know middies are not easy to customize, and also I know it's not easy to make identical twins that you're customizing because there's so many little nuances that, you know, are still going to be different. But when I look at them, even I have trouble telling them apart sometimes. Okay, so I have with me Eleanor and Car. Car is spelled K-A-R-R-E, not C-A-R, like the vehicle you drive to work. Her name is Car. Like, sort of inspired off of Cara Delevingne, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Pronunciation check, please. Sort of inspired off of that, but at the same time, she is also like her own model on the scene. But it's Car, and she, God, I'm forgetting which is which on video. This is embarrassing. She likes pink, but she's also kind of like a tomboy at the same time. And she is very high fashion, and I imagine her having a slightly deeper voice than Eleanor. Eleanor is super feminine, loves like lilac, purple shades. She definitely doesn't want to go playing in the mud with her sister Car ever, so they kind of like don't play together, but they work together because they're both models. And she's like, oh, I want to play football and run in the mud. And she's like, oh, that's disgusting. I just want to be a model. But we're still friends. Yay! So that's Eleanor and Car. Kate did an amazing job customizing them. When I look at them, it's really hard to tell them apart. I will say that Car's eyelashes are slightly larger than Eleanor's. But other than that, it's really difficult to tell these two dolls apart. Tell me in the comments, can you tell these two dolls apart if they were not wearing different dresses? They're very similar. It's like impossible. I need to like color code them, otherwise I'm gonna lose track. I only have 10 dolls. Some people think I have like 50 dolls. I only have 10. I don't buy Blythe dolls very often, which is kind of shocking even to myself, but I just don't. I can't afford it, and also in my photographs, they look different in every photo I take of them, so I don't feel the need to constantly buy them. But when I do see one that's amazing, usually by Kate or someone like Stable House or Escola Customs, I splurge. But it's like a splurge. It's like a once a year splurge at most. So I only have one more doll to share with you. All right, so everyone probably knows this doll because there was a little bit of a scandal when I got her. I got her in a box, as most people do when they buy Blythes. But I didn't open the box for like 3 weeks. and I sort of trolled everyone on social media. I was like, what's in the box? What's in the box? I had no idea what was in the box, to be fair. Like, I know everyone wanted to know what was in the box. I wanted to know what was in the box, but I was like conflicted because at the same time I was having so much fun annoying people who wanted me to open the box. I was amazed when I finally opened it. Julia is an amazing person. She owns like some of my original work on canvas. Like, I love her. I have nothing bad to say about her. I think everyone would agree with me that she's one of those people in the doll community that is just so lovable, so kind, so brave. The list goes on and on and on and on, but she's like a role model to me personally. Anyways, so I opened the box, and what did I find inside? And I had to do like a triple take. What? It's a Kenner! My very first and probably last, because I'm broke, Kenner! And I don't remember what name she had originally. I think it was Minnie or something inspired off of Minnie Mouse because she came with Minnie ears, which were so cute. But I actually renamed her Jendel Kenner, which I thought was very creative, personally speaking. But I eventually hope to get her customized. Don't come after me with pitchforks and torches. I don't mean that I want to like carve her up and give her teeth. But I do want to maybe give her like a reroot, maybe like touch up her blush or lipstick or something like that. Just give her like a little bit of va-va-voom, if you know what I mean. So hopefully, I was thinking I would give her to Kate to do that eventually. I know Kate does a lot of good work with restoration, and I'm losing my voice. So yeah, thanks for watching my video. I hope that there's going to be more in the future. And if you want to be my very first subscriber ever, hit subscribe. If I get 1 subscriber after this video, I will literally throw a party and buy a cake. So one last thing that I forgot to mention about Runway is that she is the top dog in my doll family. I have to keep her on a separate shelf in my dolly display cabinet because she cannot be on the same shelf as Jill or any of the other dolls. Like, she demands the diva treatment. Jill thinks she's the queen bee, but when Runway walks in the room, Runway owns everything. She owns everyone. She owns everything. She's the face of my doll family. Everyone knows who she is. Every photograph that I've ever taken of her, the picture has sold out. So what can I say? I mean, I can pretend all my dolls are equal and sing Kumbaya, but Runway's the queen, so go Runway, go Runway. Okay, thanks for watching my video. Bye!